All right, everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Glad to be back.
Today we're tackling a question that's equal parts terrifying and kind of
Oh,
hilarious.
yeah, this one's a doozy.
So it all started with this article we found on Scifutura, uh, basically asking what would happen if all the oxygen on Earth just up and vanished.
For just 5 seconds.
Yeah, just 5 seconds, poof, gone, and then back again.
And it's wild when you really start thinking about all the ways we rely on oxygen. Like, it's kind of woven into every aspect of life on Earth, isn't it?
Totally, and that's what we're going to unpack today: the ripple effects, the
Yeah.
chaos, the maybe not so obvious stuff.
Exactly, because even though it's just a 5-second blip, the consequences are pretty mind-blowing.
So first things first, right out the gate, Scifutura pointed out something kind of funny. You ready for this?
Hit me.
You yourself, you might not even notice those first few seconds.
Really?
Yeah, think about it. Most people can hold their breath for way longer than 5 seconds.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you'd probably just keep doing whatever you were doing, totally oblivious.
Exactly. Like imagine you're just, scrolling on your phone or chatting with someone and suddenly all this crazy stuff is happening around you, but you don't have a clue.
Well, that's the thing, right? Our bodies might take a few seconds to realize something's wrong, but the world around us, the physics of it, all that, would react instantly.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of the world around us, Scifutura brought up something that would be a pretty immediate visual cue, the
Oh.
sky.
Oh, yeah, the big blue sky.
What happens to that when oxygen takes a 5-second vacation?
Well, we see the sky as blue because of the way sunlight scatters off the oxygen and nitrogen molecules in the atmosphere.
So if oxygen's out of the picture even briefly,
The sky would change color, for sure, wouldn't go completely black because nitrogen's still there.
right,
But imagine it becoming kind of grayish, less vibrant, like someone turned down the saturation.
whoa, that's a seriously freaky image.
It would be pretty unsettling to see.
And it's not just about the sky looking weird either. Scifutura highlighted another pretty major consequence for anything living on the surface.
You're talking about the ozone layer, right?
Exactly that invisible shield up there protecting us from the sun's harmful UV rays.
And guess what? The ozone layer is made entirely of oxygen.
So 5 seconds, no oxygen,
No ozone layer either.
which means,
Basically, everyone outside would get a blast of UV radiation, kind of like an instant sunburn.
ouch, not a fun thought.
Not at all. It wouldn't be a full-blown sunburn in such a short time.
Right.
But you'd definitely feel it like a sudden sting on your skin.
A pretty clear sign that something's seriously amiss.
Yeah, a little reminder that we take that ozone layer for granted.
Big time. Okay, so we've got a weird gray sky and instant sunburns, but Scifutura dug even deeper into the chaos, thinking about how this would affect all the stuff we use to get around.
Yeah, transportation. This is where things get really interesting.
Because pretty much everything we use, cars, trucks, planes, they all rely on combustion engines.
And combustion engines need oxygen to burn fuel. That's kind of the whole point.
So what happens when that oxygen just disappears?
Well, picture this. You're cruising down the highway, everything's normal, and then, bam, every car around you just stops dead.
And not just cars. Everything, buses, trucks.
Instant global gridlock.
Oh man,
It-
total pandemonium.
It would be like something out of a movie.
And what about planes up in the air?
So Future said they wouldn't just fall out of the sky, thankfully.
Okay, that's something.
More like glide for a bit, but those 5 seconds with no engine power, that would be intense for the pilots.
Yeah, trying to regain control, figure out what's going on.
Talk about a high-pressure situation.
No kidding. So on the ground, we've got chaos in the air. We've got well-controlled chaos, hopefully.
But the weirdness doesn't stop there. Oh, no.
So Futura had one more little detail that's just wild. You ready for this one?
Lay it on me.
Your ears.
My ears.
Yeah, your ears. So Futura pointed out that oxygen makes up a pretty big chunk of our atmosphere, like 21%.
Right?
So when that vanishes suddenly, even for a few seconds, it causes a huge drop in air pressure.
Like a really rapid change.
And they compared it to the feeling you get when your ears pop on a plane.
Oh, yeah, that sudden pressure difference.
They said it would be like instantly shooting up thousands of meters in altitude.
So basically, everyone on Earth would experience this massive ear-popping sensation all at once.
How crazy is that?
That's a shared global experience you don't get every day.
And probably not one you'd want to repeat.
Maybe not. But Scifutura did say that for such a short time, it wouldn't cause any lasting damage to most people. Just a weird sensation.
Well, that's good at least. Okay,
Yeah.
so we've covered the sky, the sunburns, the transportation mayhem, the ear-popping extravaganza. But
Yeah.
there's one more big question that Scifutura addressed that I think a lot of people would be wondering about.
Let me guess, buildings.
Yeah, would everything just start falling apart?
It's a natural thought, right? Because we know oxygen's in a lot of the materials we use for construction.
But Scifutura gave us a very reassuring answer.
Basically, for those 5 seconds, our buildings would be fine. Yeah, think about it. The strength of concrete and steel doesn't just magically disappear because there's no oxygen in the air for a moment.
Huh. I guess that makes sense.
Those materials are held together by chemical bonds that are much stronger and more stable than that.
So no crumbling skyscrapers.
Not this time.
And what about the ground beneath our feet? I mean, there's oxygen in rocks and soil too, right?
Absolutely. But Scifutura explained that the oxygen in the Earth's crust is chemically bound up in minerals. It's not just floating around freely.
Oh, so it's not going to suddenly disintegrate just because the atmosphere's oxygen takes a break.
Nope, the Earth would hold it together, thankfully.
That's a relief.
Yeah.
So let's recap this whole oxygen vanishing scenario according to Scifutura.
Okay, shoot.
We've got a temporary gray sky, potential for instant sunburns, all combustion engines going kaput, and a planet-wide ear-popping symphony.
Sounds like a pretty wild 5 seconds.
But crucially, our buildings and the ground itself, they stay put.
That's the important part.
It really is. Because when you think about it, it's amazing how such a short absence of one element can have such widespread and immediate effects.
It really highlights how interconnected everything is and how much we depend on oxygen for pretty much everything.
Totally. And for our listeners out there, you're all about understanding these fascinating complexities of the world around us.
This thought experiment, it really makes you appreciate those things we take for granted, like the air we breathe.
Right, because it's easy to forget that even something as invisible and ever-present as oxygen plays a crucial role in keeping things running smoothly.
It makes you wonder what other seemingly insignificant things might have similarly dramatic consequences if they were to disappear even briefly.
Now that's a question worth pondering.
It really is food for thought.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
Keep those brains buzzing, and we'll catch you next time.